Good morning. Our lesson for today is soil preparation. We're going to get our bed all ready, our garden beds. We have to amend it, and we'll talk about what that means in a minute, so that it's perfect and ready to take our seeds and our sprouted plants. I want you to be sure that you have the skills to be able to do your own garden at home. You don't have to do something really elaborate. You could make really easy raised beds just by putting bricks around and then filling it up with your soil. You can, of course, just dig right in the ground and do the techniques we're going to talk about today. Or you can just do a little pot that in your window or outside, as long as you know you have to have that natural drainage so you don't get the root rot down at the bottom, because the earth itself always drains naturally. So let's go over to our table now and let's start our lesson. So part of our lesson, of course, we're going to use our watering station here, and then we have our tool washing station. So job number one, put away your water bottles. Job number two is come around the table and get ready to listen with no side talk. Okay, because we know that since love grows in our garden, we have to give really careful attention to everything that I'm going to teach you, because you know this lesson is deceptively simple. It seems like such simple things to do, but if you do not do these really simple things of amending your bed, and amending means fixing. It's not of course, you're not going to be sewing up the sheets in your own bed, but what you're doing is you are amending or fixing the soil so that the plants can really grow and have every single thing that they need. And if you don't do that ahead of time, and you put your seeds in the ground and you water, they're not going to grow correctly like they will if you do all of this carefully ahead of time. Okay, so when we're doing our lesson today, we're going to be using some really large adult-sized tools, so we have to be really careful. So the lesson, like I said, is soil amendment, and that means it's like if I tear this, I have to amend it. That means I have to fix it. So you know the things that have to be in our bed, in our garden bed, from our compost lesson. So we have to have good minerals, number one. We have to have a lot of oxygen, number two. And the soil has to be very nice and loose or friable. That term just means like fluffy. It has to be really friable so that the roots can go down and the water also can penetrate into the garden. So this is an important lesson. But the amazing thing is, around our whole earth, all life really begins from plants in about the top 2 inches. Around our whole, it's like a skin around our whole earth. In that top 2 inches, that is where all the activity takes place, because in nature, if seeds fall off of trees, bushes, flowers, whatever, they aren't planted really, really deeply. And we know seeds are small, and we know that also there's not a lot of that special carbohydrate food in the seeds. So it has to be that top 2 inches. That's where all the really active stuff takes place. Even if you have a seed for a tree, it's in that top 2 inches where it begins to, the embryo begins to sprout and really germinate, and the roots go down, so that the little shoot that will be the plant has to come up. And if it is way, way down the earth, there's really no way for it to get there. And secondly, you're not going to have all of the processes of life that you need. So that top 2 inches, we are going to make sure is correct for our soil. But we also have to do double digging. And this double digging, we have to use a very special adult-sized tool. Can you see how sharp those points are? Now, this is our handle. There's the shaft. These are the tines. That, these sharp tines, you've got to be really careful with these. They're going to go into the soil. And this part right here is called the tang, T-A-N-G. Don't ask me why someone named it that, but they did. That's the part that we step on, and that's the part that will help us to force this into the soil, so that if we have the top 2 inches of our soil loosened, and we're going to use our aerating fork to do that, then we will be able to loosen the whole of our soil down like about 2 feet, because almost no activity goes on further than 2 feet down, unless you have a huge tree that has a huge taproot. So The top 2 inches are important, but then you have to loosen your soil almost 2 feet down into your garden bed. Okay, now this is an adult size tool. We have to be really careful. If I drop it, whoa, that could hurt my foot really badly. So when you are using this, make sure you have your hands firmly like this, that you only carry it in front of you like this, very, very carefully until you're out to the bed. Then, when you're out to the garden bed, you're going to put your foot on the tang and you push it into the garden and you go 1, 2, 3, 4. But first, we are going to loosen our soil in that critical top 2 inches. Okay. Like this. We're going to aerate our soil. So we're going to go push, turn, push, turn, push, turn, push, turn. That really loosens the soil for that top 2 inches. So we have a lot of oxygen in there. However, what else do you think we have to have in here? We must have the compost that you guys made from recycling everything in your whole garden. And that is going to add the minerals that we need. So I am going to get this bucket. You're going to come with me, and we are going to get the soil out of our compost, out of our bin outside, and then we're going to put it into our garden. So let's go. All right. So when we all do it together, you know that we use our great big wheelbarrow. But since I'm just showing you how you do it at home, we'll use this. Aha! Look at our tortoises. Good morning, guys. Hey, I brought you something nice. Since you're not here to give them your lunch scraps, look what I have. Come here, guys. See, you're gonna like this. We had some sweet potatoes last night. Oops. Try this. Okay, I think they're still in their sunning mode. Then we had some broccoli. Let's try some broccoli. Oops. And then we also had some lovely leeks. Nice and green ones. I think they'll like that. Okay. And then let's go ahead on back to our garden. To our compost bin. Okay, guys, there they go. Yeah, now he's going to try that peeling from the sweet potato. Okay. So now we're back in Mr. Joel's work area, and we're going over to our compost bin, and I'm going to take our aerating tool aha! Look what we have right here. Look, there's that fabulous, fabulous soil. Okay, I need to get some into my bucket. And I think I need about, for our demonstration, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is going to provide all those minerals that we need, that we know from our carbon, from our nitrogen, that the microbial life has broken back down into the basic minerals. And so now we're going to take this over and use this in our garden. There's still a little bit of, here's a fabulous soil. There's still a little bit of some like fibers, and that's good because that will provide mulch that will hold the water and actually even shade a little bit in our Arizona garden. Okay, so let's go. As we walk by, I think we need to give our tortoises some more water. Because for the summer, we know that they're eating this green alfalfa. Okay, let's give you guys a little bit more water as we walk by. There you go. Also because when they're eating alfalfa, sometimes if it's kind of like too crispy for them, they put it into the water because they're African tortoises and they're used to having running water from a lake or from a river. And they put their dry materials into the water, and the water soaks it up, and then it's softer for them to eat because of course they have no teeth. But look at that. Boy, he's doing a good job with his beak, isn't he? And he loves that broccoli. Okay, so let's go finish up our lesson. All right. Here is our demonstration garden. So job number 1 is put in the soil. Sprinkle that gently all over. And we want to cover, if you can get it covered with about an inch of that fresh soil. This smells so good. Doesn't smell like all the things that we put in here. So with about an inch, okay, on the top. So that's going to give fresh the minerals in there, but it's also going to give a little bit of our fibers that will provide mulch for shade, and it acts like a sponge because the mulch actually absorbs water and then releases it as the garden needs it. So, all right, so job number 1 is aerate the garden. Push, turn, push, turn, push, turn, push, turn, push, turn, push, turn. Okay, then I need to loosen it now. I can't really show you here, of course, because it's not deep enough. But you'll stand on your tang, push it into the garden, and all you do is rock it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see that? You'll actually move the whole soil of your garden like about for 2 feet around our digging fork. Okay, then the last thing that we have to do, because you have oxygen in here now, you have minerals in here, you have the mulch, but what we really need to do is make compost tea or compost hot chocolate. They love it. And look at that, immediately, look at that. This is what your roots are going to be able to soak up now really, really well. So we have to kind of water in our compost. Then we'll totally be ready to start planting. Okay, let's go out and do that. All right. I've got the tools I need. I think I'm going to do it right over here because we have things that are growing already. Okay, now I'm going to use this area right here. If you were all here, of course, we'd do the whole garden bed, but it's really important that you see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to go push, turn, push, turn, push, turn, push, turn, push, turn in that vital 2 inches. So it's all now aerated and it's friable. Then I'm going to take my digging fork. I'm going to push it all the way down in. Look at that. Then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you look closely, look, you can see that the soil has moved, and that means that oxygen has been put into our garden bed because the soil has compacted down. And do you think the roots, if the soil is hard, could they penetrate deeply? No, they couldn't. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do this one more time. There you go. Now, I'm not disturbing the roots. That's what's wonderful about this digging fork. It doesn't hurt the roots. It just adds the oxygen. 1, look at that. Even though I'm close, it's really not hurting the plants at all. Just adding that oxygen. Okay, good. Now, the next thing that I have to do is put in, I'm going to put a little bit more of my compost and my mulch, and then very gently, I'm going to just smooth that over. I'm not going to compact it again because that's what we're trying to counteract, is natural soil compaction from rain. There you go. Now look how nice, light and fluffy that is. And everything will be able to penetrate just the way it needs to. The roots, and vitally important, the rain. Sprinkle, 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 and that's going to melt that down. And there you go. You're going to have fabulous, healthy plants now. Okay, now that I'm all finished, I need to do, as you well know, I need to clean off my tools. So I'll take my water can and I'll put it back into the water tray so it's ready for my next use. I will, can you see see over here, look. If I leave this soil on here, it's likely to rust this fabulous digging fork, and I don't want that to happen. So I need to put, some water in here and get it all rinsed off. Okay, that looks a lot better. My digging fork should be okay. I'm going to take my brush. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I have dirty drops of water. 3, 4. Okay. Digging fork is clean. Now I need to clean off my aerating fork. So I put it in the water. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now brush. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. See how clean? I'm going to get my drops off. Put the brush back. There you go. And be sure that you always nest the tines together so they don't get all wrinkled up. And then, also I forgot. I've got my little shovel that I brought from the compost to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. It's really important that our tools stay clean. There you go. All right. Now you have everything that you need now. Your bed is amended. It's fixed. That means it's prepared. Now for the next really important lesson of adding our seeds and our sprouted plants. Okay, thank you so much. Love you guys, and I really miss you. And I'm so proud of you that you're hanging in there and doing all the good work that I know you're doing at home. Plus, enjoy your family. Bye-bye.